Little Giant Boxing.
Unfortunately for Keith, he hasn't fought enough, man. He just not, his inactivity is gonna show. I think he's a talented fighter, but Tim Tszyu's on a roll, and I think Tim Tszyu beats him. I don't think he knocks him out. He beats him, but I don't think he knocks him out. Tim Tszyu's not his father in the knockout department, but Tim Tszyu's fresh right now, and I think Keith has had too much time off, and it's gonna show.
So you think it's gonna be more so father time or more so like inactivity?
Yeah, father time. Yeah, father time and inactivity, but more inactivity. He's not that old, but guys have to stay in the gym. I mean, guys have to stay active in fights, preparing for fights.
We've been seeing it more lately, more and more, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
About the inactivity.
Yeah.
As far as Tim Tszyu, what do you think about that fight between him and like maybe Charlo, or him fighting for the world title?
For Charlo, that's a good fight. With Crawford, I like Crawford, man. Crawford's a talent. 154, anything to 154, it's going to be hard to deal with Terence Crawford.
And what about, obviously, Pitbull versus Rolly Romero in the co-main event of Tim Tszyu versus Thurman?
Ooh, that's a great fight. That's a great fight. If Rolly has got his, how I want to say that? He is too he never has a plan. He's too unpredictable. Rolly,
okay.
He's just too unpredictable. He just does things like on a whim. Has no plan of attack. And maybe he does, but that's just the way his style. But he just does things so unpredictable and
he's awkward.
No, not so much awkward. You can be awkward, but just he's like winging it all the time, in my opinion. He doesn't have a set rules for himself and for his fight.
Do you think that helps him or hurts him?
I think that hurts him. I think he's a talented fighter, but he just doesn't have a consistent rounds and consistent fights.
Do you lean towards Pitbull for that?
No, it's a 50-50 fight, huh?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a 50-50
Whoever catches, because obviously Pitbull's moving up in weight, so
yeah.
He's
He's gonna be a little busier in attacking, but it's a good fight. That's actually a good fight to watch for me.
What do you think about Pitbull winning the fight? Obviously, Ryan, he really won.
Ryan's a difficult fight for a lot of people. For those kind of fighters, for Rolly and for Pitbull, Ryan's a tough fight because Ryan can crack a little bit. He's a big kid. He's got good reach. Not as fundamentally sound as some of the other guys, but he can crack.
Right. And who would you like to see Canelo fight next? Obviously, there's rumblings of him possibly fighting.
I want to see him fight in May against. I said months ago that I would, after his last fight, that I would like to see him fight the other Charlo. And if that's the truth, then I think that's a good fight. And then I would like to see him fight the fight that everybody's clamoring for in September. Because I think September is a more important date for us Mexicans as Independence Day. So that would be a big fight for him.
You think obviously the Canelo-Benavidez fight in September, it would be a great fight, right?
Yes, but I would like to see David fight. I'd like to see David give me another one of those performances like he did in his last fight. If he does that, then he's a legitimate for me. If he's
right. Against who though?
Charlo. Charlo, that's
Charlo.
Yeah, big Charlo.
So you like to fight Canelo versus Charlo? And
Canelo can fight some maybe Munguia or somebody, and I think that's a little tight, the dates. But I would like to see David fight somebody like a Charlo, like that, and see how he does. And if he destroys somebody like he did against Andre, if he looks that devastating and that dominant, then yeah, he belongs in there with Canelo. Then it's a good fight. Then it's I wouldn't say a 50-50 fight, but more of a 45-55 kind of fight for Canelo.
And as far as Triple G, what do you think? He hasn't fought also?
I don't know. I hope that he's enjoying himself. I hope that he's enjoying his kids. Kids grow up fast. Hope he's having fun. I think he's getting up in age. I think he's 41 now, so I don't think I'd like to see him fight again. But then again, I'm not his family, so his family needs to. He needs to sit down with his family and decide what's best for Gennady and for his kids.
And as far as last thing, what do you think about Teofimo challenging Crawford?
Tough fight. Teofimo is going to be in a difficult battle if he goes up against Terence, especially at 147. Teofimo, unfortunately for him, he goes into most of his fights with baggage from not the fight or the training, but from other stuff that he has going on in his life. So he's not 100% there mentally. So that I imagine that affects him. But anybody fighting Terence Crawford at 147, 154 is going to have a difficult time with Terence.
All right. Abel, anything you want to leave us with?
We have Arsen Goulamirian fighting Sudo Ramirez sometime in March, late March. Hopefully we get a site. I think we have the date, but we'll get a site. I think it's late March, like I said. So looking forward to having my guy fight here in the States. He's been with me for about 6 years. He's a WBA cruiserweight champion. I believe he's 27 or 28-0 with 21, 22 knockouts, something like that. So it should be a good fight at cruiserweight.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either.
Thank you, Abel. Appreciate it.
Thank you.